I'm William Klenk, and I have Robyn Bellospirito here, and we're doing a documentary.
It's not a documentary.
It's kind of like a documentary. It's about the evolution of Robyn's artwork, but it's mostly about her dancing. Let's get going.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Okay.
So tell us about how you went from creating paintings to performing dance.
I have no idea. I think I was unconscious the whole time. I was in a really bad accident. And before I knew it, I couldn't paint anymore. I just got up out of my hospital bed and started doing this Butoh thing. My face was whiter than white. And suddenly I was like, what's this all about? And I see this ghost of this little Japanese man. And he's like, just move. Just move. No one else saw him but me. So that's how it started.
Wow.
Kidding.
What? That was a joke?
Yes.
No, but seriously.
Okay. In early 2007, in January I found out my dad was really sick. By May, I didn't know if I'd ever paint again. I felt like, well, I don't know if I'm an artist at all anymore. I felt like I was totally fractured. Little pieces. I was in pieces. Didn't know who I am. My whole foundation was just crumbled. Anyway, so didn't know if I'd ever paint again, and I picked up a paintbrush again in May of 2007, and I think I did a couple of sort of representational works, but then got into abstract and started feeling like that's why I'm doing abstract, because I can't even use words. I can't even express myself in words. Like, anything that's too specific is not abstract enough for what I need to express. So I did abstract painting. I only did it for a year and then I stopped. Then I got into photography, digital photography, into Photoshop for a little while. Then I started doing videos. I did my first video self-portrait. I think it was in 2008, in autumn of 2008.
What's that one about?
That one was just, I took a piece of music that made me feel something. It was By the Dead Can Dance. And basically I sat in front of a radiator in my bedroom and I just moved to it. And I felt the need to move. I think it was a while, probably a year until I did my next video self-portrait. And in that one, I went to the beach. I had a mask, I had a long purple robe, and I had the music all picked out, and I basically put the music on and then I just go. None of it's choreographed, it's not planned. I just know that I feel something from the music, and little by little, I mean, I've been dancing in my room by myself for many years. You know, just needing to move, feeling the need to move. I felt the need to move as a kid, and I always kind of wanted to perform. But my house and my family, it wasn't really conducive to that kind of expression. It was kind of better that I stay in my room and stay quiet and paint or draw, which is what I did. And I feel like I always wanted to perform and to move and to dance. I've always had a lot of energy in that way, but I couldn't really do it growing up. And then I got very shy, and at one point I thought, I can't dance. You know how most people say, oh, I don't know how to dance. That's not true. That's simply not true for anybody. They can think that. It's really the form of being self-conscious, you know, really self-conscious. But it's not true that people can't dance. You can. Dancing is anything you want it to be. It's any kind of movement you want it or need it to be. And that's what I'm learning through Butoh. You introduced me to that film,
that
Cherry
movie?
Blossoms.
Cherry Blossoms, yeah.
And here I am dancing in my room and everything. You show me this movie, Cherry Blossoms, and you say, oh, you got to see this movie because there's a woman dancer in here who does what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what is it that I do? Because I didn't think I did anything.
Yeah.
And I watch it, and I'm like, wow, and she's a street performer. And I'm like, so what's stopping me from doing Butoh? Because she was a Butoh dancer in the film. And I'm like, well, what's stopping me? What's stopping me? What's Butoh all about anyway? You know, and in life, what is there to stop you? What is there that stops us, you know, from doing the things we love to do?
I know how music inspires you. I remember one winter day, I was playing some music, and you also noticed the light streaming in the window and
Oh, yeah.
the light on the wall, and all of a sudden you got inspired, like in an instant, and you had to make a video right then and there.
I was gift possessed, and yeah, that's the shadow dance. You can do Butoh anywhere, anytime. You don't need music. You don't need anything. It's a way of being, and it's really powerful. So yeah, I just went from painting to photography. Photography felt quicker to me. It didn't feel as intimidating as picking up a paintbrush and coming up with something. It was like I'd see something and then I could capture it. Then video was more me, capturing me. I was capturing me, doing something and starting to move. Then before I know it, I'm dancing. You know, after I saw Cherry Blossoms, I'm like, what's stopping me from performing on the street? And before I knew it, like by late June, early July, I'm performing on the street. Yeah.
So, where do you see your
Going?
Where do you see it going from here?
I have no idea.
It seems to be evolving.
I don't know.
Constantly changing, doing so many different kinds of things.
It's kind of like life, though, isn't it?
I remember one day you wanted to go and find a place where, like an alley that's lit.
Yeah.
And we went driving around Huntington, and all of a sudden,
yeah,
you saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. We found the right space.
And that was like, I thought one of the most interesting videos you've ever made.
See, that, I like that you said that, but also kind of like pissed me off that you didn't have a good, because that was really cool, that video.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes it cool, yeah, I'm wearing a cool costume. I'm wearing the mask, the white mask, and this long vinyl black coat. It's very Matrix. And the music was really cool. Scorn, this one CD I have, and you know, I did a lot of editing. I was actually very dizzy that day. I just know that I needed to do a video. So it's one of my video self-portraits. Yeah, I just know that I needed to do it. And I couldn't move as much as I wanted to. I relied very heavily on editing in that particular video.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it wasn't so much my dancing that made that interesting. It was, I think, the setting, the music, the costume,
The edit.
and the editing. Yeah.
Right.
I just want to dance. I just want to move. So,
Yeah. Where do you see it going from here?
I don't know. I don't know where I see it going. I see, like, myself just keep doing it. It's kind of like day by day. I have to take it day by day and see whatever I feel. And I mean, we never know what life's going to bring to us, or what, if you don't know what life's going to bring to you, you don't know what you're going to be inspired by. Different events in your life, different things that happen to you, how your day goes, what you might encounter in the world one day when you go out into the world. You never know what you're going to be inspired by. Inspiration can come in so many forms. And so that's why I can't really answer that question, because, I mean, something could happen next week where I'm like, oh, this is where it's going. Right now, it's kind of like I'm just doing it for the day. And then tomorrow I know I'll do it according to what I need to do tomorrow.
Well, you've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people.
Yeah.
People on the street that watch you perform, and people that just see your videos on their computer.
Yeah.
For some reason, they really they get something out of it. I've seen it personally. And they're mesmerized by it.
If they get something from it, that's wonderful. Because I thought, I'm going to go out there. All right, I'm driving to my performances, and I'm in a costume. I'm a 46-year-old woman in a costume, driving to a street corner where I'm just going to put on some music and dance. I'm thinking, I'm a lunatic. So I didn't know if someone is going to like what I do, if I'm going to be laughed off the street. I have no idea. But every time I go out there, it's pretty amazing. And actually, maybe you can talk about that, because you go with me to my performances. You see a lot more than I see. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, people say, they ask me, what is she doing? What? And they're mesmerized, and they can't walk away. A lot of them. Some ignore you, but a lot of people are like, they try to grasp what you're doing, and I can see that some of them are feeling something. They're getting something from it. Yeah. A lot of people mention that they feel peaceful.
Really?
Yeah.
People have told me that. I'm really thankful for that, because it's just like with my paintings, like when I used to paint or do my shows. You know, I do it for me, but if it happens to touch someone, then that's an extra perk. You always hope that it's my hope anyway, that to reach someone on some level that's, you know, deeper than, oh, it's pretty. You know, if it can reach on a deeper level, it means an awful lot to me, because I'm putting something into it that's part of my spirit. I'm not just doing it to look pretty or to look a certain way. I don't do that at all. I'm wearing something that I feel, yes, I feel emits something, but it also helps me to get it into a certain place in me, and get into that through the costume. It allows me to turn in, and then the music I choose, it's very specific, and then I choose music that taps into whatever it is I want to express, and then it helps me. Yeah. People come up to me, and I've heard so many things, and I've had teenage girls crowd around me and say, how do you do this? Can you show me? You know, this one teenage girl came up to me and asked me to show her what I do, and all I can do is show what I do. I'm not really telling her how she should do it, but before I know it, there's a whole group of them. And then there was another day, someone else asked me, how can you show me what you do, or what is it you do? I say all the time, is this spiritual? Because people are feeling something spiritual from it. And I'm thinking, that's really cool, because I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not in a...
You're not part of a cult, are you?
No. Someone asked me that once. Yeah. And he was, I'm just making sure. Hope you're not offended. And I said, I'm not offended at all, because dialogue, I told him, I said, dialogue is so important between people. I welcome it. I welcome people coming up. Ask me what I'm doing. Talk to me. Tell me how you feel, whether it's good or bad or whatever. You know, dialogue is really important between people in general, to understand each other. Understand, it's like if you don't understand something you're looking at, like it's a piece of art or whatever, go ask the person who did it and say, well, what do you mean by this? And, you know, you might feel something on your own that they didn't intend. Usually, if you want to really know, it might broaden how you see it, because not only will you be feeling your own thing from it, but you'll be understanding the inspiration for it.
So when you're performing in public, do you have a goal or a specific intent? Are you trying to transmit peace and love to the audience?
When I perform, like on the street, I would say yes, because I notice that that's the thing that I really, okay, I feel, when I dance, I feel such peace. And if I choose music that feels very calming and soothing and it sounds beautiful, it helps me to tap into that side of myself. And that is kind of, if I could spread anything in the world I wanted to. You know, we can all shoot out whatever we want to. We can express what we want to. And there are times I dance when it's not so beautiful, when it's just dancing for me. But when I go to do the street performance, that's what I'm choosing to tap into, because that's what I think. I like spreading peace, and I like spreading joy. I like making people smile and making them feel like, wow, this is something special, or this is making me feel better, this is calming me down. I need it, and other people are saying, Robyn, we really need this. And so, yeah, that's my purpose when I perform on the street. If I perform at an event, I usually kind of tailor it to whoever I'm performing for. If it's an art gallery opening, I try to tap into what kind of art is it, you know, what kind of music should I have, how should I be dressed. And I'll still do my own thing, I'll still get into my zone and things, you know, but it's never choreographed. It'll still be my own thing, but I'll tailor what I wear or the music, you know, to emote something else fitting to that particular event.
So do you, what do you think Butoh dancing is? What's your definition of Butoh dancing? And is it your goal to be a Butoh dancer?
I think I am a Butoh dancer. I think I was before I knew it. Before I started saying, oh, I want to learn Butoh, I think I was already doing it, because it's, at least, okay, looking at Kazuo Ono's book, I love Ono. I thank God that man lived in the world, because it's all about being so authentic and moving the way you need to move and feeling your spirit and getting so, you can respond to what's going around you, but it's from a very interior place. And I think I was already doing that without calling it Butoh. Butoh, as it began, was a very dark dance. It was a dance like of death, a dance of, taboos and bringing out death and pain and writhing. And there are Butoh dancers who do, how it started. There were the two founders, Ono and Hijikata, and they went sort of in different directions and different paths. Ono chose, it was in his obituary that I read, that his son said that their dance comes from a place of universal love. And I mean, he was so ethereal and so graceful, and you really feel such beauty and such softness watching him, such tenderness of the spirit. That's Butoh. It's, I think there are different kinds of Butoh, but I think there's probably a different kind of Butoh for as many people are doing it. For every Butoh dancer, they're doing their own form of Butoh, because no two people are going to move the same. But he said that the white makeup was to erase himself. He said the purpose of the white makeup was to erase himself. Erase so that he
his
could
persona.
The physical persona, so that he could just project what was from within, through his facial expressions and through his movements. And I don't know, I mean, if I'm making people feel a certain way, and I wear the white makeup, and I'll wear a lot of, I could wear any color I want to, but in Butoh these days you can pretty much, you do anything that you feel you need to. But for me, doing the whole white thing, it helps me to project what it is I want to bring to Butoh in my own practice. As I progress, I mean, God, I hope I can teach this to people. Not what I do. I want to teach people to do what they do. Because so many people, I hear so many people say, oh, I can't dance, or I can't do that. So these can'ts in people's language, and it's so oppressive to the soul to do that. We need more of, oh, I can. When people see me on the street, I guess a lot of them like what I do and are touched by what I do, but I think part of it is that they're seeing, wow, there's someone, so many people tell me I'm courageous, like that, you have so much courage for doing this, and I'm thinking, no, I don't. I'm just doing what I need to do. I'm just a creative person who needs to put on this whatever and go and dance for people. And it's one thing if I dance in my room, but there's something about performing for people. It's different every time. You get different reactions, different responses. You never know what's going to happen. It's spontaneous, including on their end, spontaneous on my end, spontaneous on their end, where I never know what kind of response I'm going to get. I've had like every kind of response since I've been, dancing like 6 months ago, and it's like, wow, pretty cool. It's something very powerful about that moment, that spontaneous moment in time when you are interacting with whoever happens to be passing your way. And for whatever reason, the universe puts us in that same place at that same time. And so many times it's felt like, wow, that was meant to happen. Because it will do something for me. It will do something for them. It's an interaction, and no matter how brief, I could probably never see that person again. And there was a moment that's touched my soul that I'm going to remember forever. I think that's what Butoh is, a lot of it. Soul, dancing, but dancing through the body. Body is just like a vehicle, and we're allowing people to see our soul, no matter what that contains. And of course I could choose to show my pain and my angst and all the other things like that. The darker things, there's nothing wrong with that. If people want to show that, that is absolutely fine. And I may do Butoh dances for the public where I do show that. But right now, I have a need to show the lighter. I have a need to reach out in a lighter way, because I'm getting a response that it lifts me, it lifts them. It's like, it's what I would dream. I would only dream of that, and
So that sounds like pretty legitimate intent for your dancing, to bring some light and joy and peace into a person's life. But you're like really putting yourself out there.
I'm a spiritual person. I wanted to go into the ministry for many years. I had some difficulty for health reasons. This school that had a distance learning program in New York City, they accepted me, but they said, we'll accept you on the terms that you come here in person. And I said, well, I've got some issues, health issues. I don't know that I can get there every day. I know, there's a mosquito. And so I never went. It just never happened, but I'm thinking, well, there's a reason for everything, and maybe this is my way of being a minister, not by standing at a pulpit speaking words. It's easier for me to express myself in other ways, creative ways. And if I just stand up in front of people, and if I dance and move and look at them with love and send out loving thoughts and energy, and there's this music that they feels very peaceful, and I look very peaceful, and I'm just sending it to them. They feel it. That's the greatest joy, is if people respond to it and like it. Not just like it, on a superficial level, but really feel something and accept what I have to offer.